So today I'm going to be trying to re-stretch my ears. A little bit of backstory is I used to have stretched ears. I was at a 2 gauge. I'll insert a picture. It wasn't big at all. As you can see, when I took them out, I was able to go back to wearing just regular earrings. The hole is still a little bit bigger than what you would typically get it pierced with, but it's very easy to wear earrings. I have no issue. And yeah, so we're gonna see whether or not my ears, or they'll stretch, obviously. We're gonna see what they'll stretch to. But you wanna put it on your earlobe and then put it all over the taper. Get your taper and then try and push it through. As you can see, this easily went through, no issue. So I was right. Obviously, my ears are too stretched for a 14 gauge. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the next size, which is a 12. Oh, a 12. But we're gonna go through the same process that we just did. Not any force or anything, it just went right through, which means, again, it's too small. So we're gonna try a 10 gauge. So an 8 gauge is in, but it did go all the way through. I'm going to test my luck with a 6 gauge. Lubricate, and then we're just gonna push it through. Okay. See, that's as far as I can go with that one. I can already feel it. As you can see, it didn't even go halfway. So I'm going to go back to an 8 gauge. But as you can see, the 8 gauge tunnel went in perfectly, and it just looks like a cute little diamond. A diamond in, but I'll go ahead and put in a regular tunnel for y'all, just so y'all can see what it looks like. But as you can see, my ear is very red from me trying to stretch to the 6 gauge. So that is what your ear would look like with a tunnel in it. When I think my ears are good and I try to stretch to a 6 gauge, I will be back and show y'all that. Hey y'all, so it has been exactly 1 week since I stretched my ears to a 8 gauge, I believe. My ears are not red anymore. They don't hurt. They're not, like, they don't feel any type of pressure, anything. And that's very important. If you feel like your ears still are sore or anything like that, do not even try to attempt to stretch. And generally, in between stretches, you need to wait. A good rule of thumb is a minimum of a month. You generally probably need to take 2 to 3 months in between stretches for your ears to fully heal. Now, since mine was easily do a full 8 gauge taper, and I was just having trouble with the 6 gauge, that's why I only waited a week. But yeah, so just keep watching and we'll see if I can stretch. And then I'm going to go ahead and clean my earlobes. Okay, so now I have some vitamin E oil. I got it at this dollar store for literally $1. And I'm just gonna put it all over the taper. And I'm gonna put some on my actual earlobe. I'm starting with this ear, which this ear is harder to stretch just because it's a little funky. It's a little funky because if you can't see, it has 2 holes. And that's from when my mother got my ears pierced at Claire's at the mall with a piercing gun, and they fucked up. Don't use a piercing gun, go to a real piercer. I don't care what your kid is. Anyway, so we're gonna put the taper in, and voila! It went all the way through. Oh, see, that one's pinching a little bit more, but it still went all the way through. Okay, that was actually a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be. Okay, so that is the 6 gauge tunnel, and this is the 6 gauge diamond. Hey y'all, so it has been about 2 weeks since I last uploaded my video where I stretched my ears from an 8 gauge to a 6 gauge. Well, it's been 2 or 3 weeks, somewhere around there. It's been a little while. And not because my ears haven't been able to stretch, it's just because I've been lazy. Honestly, haven't felt like filming a video. So yeah, that's why. But today I'm going to be trying to stretch my ears from the 6 gauge to a 4. And so I don't have any jewelry in my ears right now, as you can see. And it has a little natural hole already formed. This is just a 4 gauge taper. And then I'm just gonna go like that. And as you can see, which I suspected, it just all the way naturally 100% just slid on through, and I figured it was going to do that since I had waited a little couple more weeks than I had to. So my camera died, which is why we're in a new location now. Honestly, I've already changed shirts and everything. Nothing really else. I mean, I put the tapers through, went through. These are what the 4 gauge look like. You can see. And like I can see, it's a pretty decent size hole. It's already starting to form. Like, you know, it actually looks like my ears are starting to be stretched without jewelry. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll update y'all next week to see if I can stretch to a 2 gauge. Today we're going to be trying to stretch my ears, which are currently at a 4 gauge to a 2 gauge. And now you're just going to take the taper and you're going to push it through. Oh, actually, well, it pinched a little, but it did go all the way through, as you can see. And now we're just going to do the other side. It's okay if it hurts a little bit or there's like a little pinch, but if it's like not wanting to budge and if it's excruciating pain or if you're bleeding, then do not proceed. You need to take the tapers out. You need to put in your current plugs or tunnels and wait a little bit longer for your ears to finish healing before you try stretching. So that is what they look like with the tapers. I'm gonna put in the 2 gauge tapers. Now there are some tapers that you can hook the end of the tunnel to the taper, and so it helps ease it through. But mine are not like that, sadly. So I kind of have to just find my way. So I will usually just like kind of go like that. And then find the hole and push it through. Just like that. And then get your little O-ring. And you're gonna do the same thing to the other side. My original size when I first stretched my ears was a 2 gauge. So this is what my original sizing was. So I'm guessing now when I try to stretch my ears one more time to the 0 gauges is what my goal size is now, I'm probably going to have to wait a little bit longer than I have been, just because my ears have already been to a 2 gauge before, so stretching it to a 2 gauge was not difficult. But I mean, I could be wrong, it could be easier, but I think that it's probably going to be a little bit more difficult to stretch to a 0 since my ears have not been to that size before, and I'm probably going to have to wait 2 to 3 weeks at the very minimum, opposed to how I've just been able to stretch my ears every single week. I guess we'll see, but that's just a feeling I'm gonna get. But this is what the 2 looks like. So these are my 2 gauge that I have in. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take them out. And there went the O-ring. I don't know if anybody else has a hard time keeping up with O-rings, which if you don't know, that is what the little ring to hold your tunnel in is called. But I always randomly lose them. Like they'll come out or like I'll accidentally drop it. And it's like the most annoying thing ever. So now that I have them out, I'm going to take a makeup wipe and clean my ears. So here is the tapers. This is a 1 gauge stainless steel taper. Again, hands, everything are clean. I'm going to take some jojoba oil. You can use any oil you would like, as long as it's natural, you know. I'm going to get the oil. I'm going to put it on the 1 gauge taper. Put it on my ear. And then just slide it on through. And because it has been 4 months, it just easily went on through. It did pinch a little. And it's okay if it pinches, that's not an issue. But if it's excruciating or you're struggling, then that's when you should. My light just went off. If it's excruciating or it's hurting or you just can't make it go through, you don't need to force it. On here, you're just gonna get it, that one almost went all the way through. And ta-da, just like that. Whoops. So that one is in. See? Apparently not. Oh, there's so much oil. It's like I can't hold it. Okay, well, apparently I didn't even need a taper because it didn't even stick. So maybe I can just put oil on my ear and oil on the tunnel and push it through. Oh, wow. I think this was the easiest stretch I've ever done. Okay, well, that was way more simple than I thought it was gonna be. So it literally just went right through. But these are a 0 gauge